host.
I know, right? What's up, yo? Y'all good?
Wow.
I know. I know. It's been a minute since I've been up here. So,
Mark, like you said, it's been a little while since I've had a chance to talk to you. I guess overall, how are you feeling right now? Is there any, light shine on what kind of transpired for you this season? I think late November.
yeah, I'm definitely starting to feel better. It's been a while since I played. It's definitely been tough. I haven't really dealt with a injury where I've been out during the course of a season. It's normally stuff I can, deal with and push it to the side. So it's definitely been different for me. I feel like my teammates have, done a good job of keeping, my mental okay. Same goes for Coach Cliff. We would talk about, the games, what I would see, like tendencies of other bigs in the league, knowing that, next season and the seasons after that, I'm going to be facing up against these guys. So keeping me engaged, doing stuff in the weight room, just really doing what I can. But now I'm definitely starting to feel better. I'm able to do, a little bit more, and I'm, feeling better by the day. And it's not really something where it's going to linger. I'm, aiming to play, every game next year. So it's definitely not something I like doing, sitting out. It's definitely tough. Was a tough year for us. So I'm excited for the future, though.
We were kind of shrouded for timetable of when it happened and what the injury was. What can you tell us about when you felt it, what it is, and what the road to recovery looks like?
Yeah, so first game I started to feel something in my back was probably like when we played Brooklyn. Got ice after the game, but it wasn't anything crazy. We played a couple more games. Minnesota, I played. But the first game where I was really like, it's bothering me was that Chicago game. I didn't play Chicago. And then the game after that was Toronto. I tried playing there, and then I left in the third quarter. I was like, this isn't just your normal, like, I fell down. So yeah, since then I've been out, and I've just been, rehabbing since. It's not like a surgery situation or anything like that. It's just a matter of, getting back to being comfortable enough to play, being able to move how I moved, jump how I jumped, and just, again, not having it being something that lingers.
So there wasn't like an incident that you remember where...
Not a particular play, no. I can't pinpoint exactly falling or getting hit or something. It was just more of like afterwards when the adrenaline, went away. I was like, oh yeah, something happened.
You said you're able to do more than before. What are you able to do specifically? And I guess what is your ramp up to full strength?
Yeah, I'm able to, shoot some, do some more in the weight room. A lot of stuff I'm doing now is just focusing on my core, getting that stronger. But, before it was a situation where I couldn't really, put too much stress. So overhead lifting I was trying to avoid. But, now I'm starting to do a little bit more of that. But, yeah, just to build up back to play, back to, doing basketball activities outside of just shooting, moving around. Playing live, getting back in shape, stuff like that. So it's definitely not something I'm worried about heading into camp or anything.
Is it upper or lower back?
Lower.
So just to confirm, Coach actually mentioned last week or 2 weeks ago that you had a little bit of, a bone issue.
Mm-hmm.
What was that like, and how were you able to, to kind of get past that to the point? I guess you said you won't need surgery, but you're gonna be okay.
Yeah, I'm totally gonna be okay. It's just a matter of building strength back up, building it so it's not a lingering issue. Just mobility, strength, and just overall comfort.
And this is obviously 2 years for you, 2 seasons, and you haven't played as many games as you hope to already. How much does that bother you, and how much do you want to make sure you aren't getting that unfortunate label that.
Yeah. It totally bothers me. The sitting out shit. Oh, the sitting out sucks. For my rookie year, I was not in the rotation. I was playing in the G, and then when I had that opportunity, I dislocated my thumb in Detroit, but popped it back in. I was cool, taped it up, was able to just play, the rest of the season after letting it, heal a little bit. And then, after the season was over, I got surgery to, really fix it. Hasn't been a problem since. And then, this year, having the back issue, I know hurting your back as a big guy, you always get that label. So I think that was a really big piece for me, not trying to force anything and not have that be an ongoing issue for me. So, in the future, I don't want that to be a label for me. I'm not a guy that likes to sit out. It's not a situation like that at all. I'm just really excited, for next season to play. And obviously a goal for me is to play every game and, have a season that goes past April, 13th, 14th. I'm not trying to do that. So I'm trying to be playing for sure.
There are a few famous examples of guys who were high talent guys like you who were injured and then they came out and wanted to unleash and just really show the world. For example, Blake Griffin tried to dunk every single time he touched the ball the entire season. Does part of you have that in you, like you're picked up, like you want to come out there and just kind of unleash on the league?
Yeah, I mean, that first game of year 3 for me, I'll definitely be excited. But yeah, I mean, it's just like I said, a credit to, the coaching staff and my teammates, for keeping my head in it. And then as far as rehab goes, obviously not being too aggressive, it's unfortunate, obviously, we don't have a postseason, but fortunate in the sense that I have more time to have this to not be a problem. So, heading into, camp, heading into the start of the season next year, it won't be something that I'm going to be worried about, and I'll totally be excited that first game out.
These games were meaningful for you guys last month or so.
Absolutely.
Would you have been able to come back and play, do you think, or is it one of those things where
I think it's one of those things where I have to look at the bigger picture for my career. I'm not trying to have this, like I said, be an ongoing thing for me. I just want this to be, a one and done situation. Just being able to play, for years and years to come. And I just want to be, comfortable playing how I want to play. I don't want to feel like I got to play a certain way or, do certain things to not have it be. I just want to be, the Mark Williams that I know. And I think this was the best course of action of going about it. And I don't want anybody to be concerned about, like you said, having that label about me. I'm really excited to get back and be that player that, you all have seen and more.
Of the 18 or 19 games that you did play, what areas of growth did you see in your game compared to that run that you had as a rookie? What areas did you identify that you need to shore up when you do get back to 100%? 19 games. Yeah, it's tragic, but I mean, it makes you remember the games you played. I had some good games. A good game, Boston, the Wizards, obviously. I had the career high rebounds, Indy. That was a really good game for a lot of the guys. For me, that was a career high game. I think I was definitely more confident, more aggressive in how I was playing. My teammates were trusting me, finding me in all the right spots on the floor. Defensively, definitely the game was starting to slow down, so being able to communicate with my teammates was something I thought I got a little better at, and that's something that can always improve. I feel like our team has a lot of talent. There's going to be, some new pieces added, through the draft and the summer and all that. But yeah, I think there's definitely some bright spots that you saw, even though the season didn't go as expected with all the guys out and stuff out of our control. But, definitely really excited. But there's always room for me to grow. Offensively, being able to shoot the ball, being able to play make, being in better shape, when I'm back out there, being able to play extended minutes, 30, 35 plus minutes, whatever it is. So I'm definitely excited for that. Yeah.
Yeah, so me, Cliff, Rex, when Jeff got here, he stopped in. We would talk about like the last 5 or so games. I would write up things I saw within the teams and within like their fives. So, team by team, player by player, at least as the fives went. We would talk about, things I saw, things they did well, things they didn't do as well. And, I would just talk about them, teams you would play multiple times in a year, especially like teams in the East. I'd have some overlap, but those are the things where you really start to pick up on stuff like that. So, like I said, I appreciate him keeping me engaged and doing stuff like that because, it's hard, being out for that long. Like I said, it's not really something I'm used to doing, and, doing that helped me stay engaged.
Mark, obviously you're focused on your own progression, but as you saw the team around you kind of grow this year, what's one thing that maybe makes you most excited to be back in 6 months and play with these guys?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of bright spots. Brandon, it's crazy. Brandon wasn't even starting at the beginning of the year. He was, 6-man vibes, and then all of a sudden he's right behind Miles in minutes. For him, him able to display his, scoring ability, everything he's capable of doing on the floor on both sides of the ball. He's tall, long arms, moves well, obviously bouncy. So I think for him, having the year he had was definitely a cool thing to see.